I'm going to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So you grew up in New York.
Yeah.
And you attended ballet and dance?
No.
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 Okay. I'm going to tear up my notes now.
No, I was not allowed to. I was told I wanted to tap because I had seen a lot of Fred Astaire on TV, and my mother pronounced rather archly, tapping is for gypsies. And she didn't realize it actually in Broadway terms it is. You know what I mean? So I was allowed to do ballroom dancing. Unbeknownst to my mother, though, I was winning a lot of dance contests in high school. You know, the twist and the mashed potatoes were two of my, you know.
And how old were you then?
I must have been 13.
Right.
Yeah.
Artifact was originally intended to be a kind of story ballet, like an evening-length narrative ballet, but it was a ballet about ballet. And so I tried to put it into the original context, which was inside of a kind of another structure. It wasn't at the beginning independent. And in the original Artifact, it's inside of a kind of opera, play, a dramatic musical play. And I tried to evoke certain epics. There's always something to improve. There's always something you can do better. You know, every year you acquire some craftsmanship. You're a little better at doing something, and you actually see solutions for things you didn't see 2 months ago. You're going, oh, wait a minute, I can fix that. You know, it has a lot to do with the dancers you're working with. So different dancers imply different solutions, and that's how a ballet improves, actually, through that interaction of choreographer and dancer. So that's why it's a ballet from 1984, but it's a ballet from yesterday.
Artifact was created in 1984. Also, this was William Forsythe's earliest full-length work that he designed during his time being the artistic director of Frankfurt Ballet, which is in Germany. This period in William Forsythe's life was vital to his choreographing career because this was a time when William enhanced the classical language of ballet into a new fractured and stimulating form of ballet. This was fit for the late 20th century. Forsythe choreographed the entire piece Artifact with about 30 or 35 dancers in about 3 weeks. The beginning of Artifact is danced to Bach's Chaconne in D minor, and the entire rest of the piece is inspired and based on the music of Bach. Artifact opens with a slow, quiet, upstage walk. The dancer is in a classic gray leotard with a pale, ghastly face. The dancer approaches the front of the desolate and abandoned stage, while another white-haired woman sweeps onto the stage with an extravagant arm gestures and declares, "Step inside." That is literally what William Forsythe's choreographic intentions are. His intentions are that the audience walks into this world that is like no other place they have ever been. The ensemble travels the stage diligently, effortlessly executing the brisk tendus and rond de champes. Even when this piece starts to get rigorous, the performers' heads, hips, and shoulders are always shifting ever so elegantly. This piece has taken me and also the audience into a very special place. The piece is so innovative. This style distinguishes the beginnings of William Forsythe's experiment on broadening the boundaries of ballet by extending lines beyond the traditional shape of a dancer. The beaming and bending lights throughout the performance give the performer's shape. You can tell that he was very architectural and precise with every detail that went into this piece. To my knowledge, the movements throughout this piece seem very classic, but simultaneously, William is challenging the dancers to execute the movement and to maintain their balance while they dance in unison. The power within these huge groups is amplified by their constant imitation of one another. Later, in an interview, William Forsythe continues to say, "It is about the process of people imitating one another," he explains. Of replication, that is what one does. One starts by standing behind someone else and imitating what they do. William Forsythe was born on December 30th, 1949 in New York City and is now 68 years old. He is an American dancer and choreographer. William is internationally known for his work with the Ballet Frankfurt from 1984 to 2004, and more recently with the Forsythe Company from 2005 to 2015. By displaying abstract views of ballet along with a dynamic tone of theatricality, his choreographic drive was originated from his desire to extend the lines of ballet.
In classical ballet, there is an interior that is not often acknowledged, which is a number of relationships between points on the body. So if you have a simple tendu, for example, you have a lot of relationships available. You have between the elbows and the knees, for example. That makes a kind of triangle. Or between the two elbows, yeah, you have a straight line. Or between the two wrists, you have a straight line. Between the fingertips and the knee, you have potentially a curved line or a straight line, yeah. Between here and here, you have a relationship. Between any single one hand, you have a relationship. Between a line between here and here, between here and here, between there and there, between there, the foot and the other foot, the toe and the heel and the toe, etc., ad infinitum.
In the beginning, William would choreograph his high school musicals. He began training in Florida and then ended up continuing his passion to dance with Joffrey Ballet School in New York in 1969. In 1971, he established his professional career with Joffrey Ballet. Once he moved on to Stuttgart Ballet, he was encouraged by the director Marcia Haiti to begin choreographing pieces for the dance company. Today, some of Forsythe's choreography is perceived as the most legendary and leading ballet performances internationally. Considering Forsythe has been vital in the choreographic realm for over 45 years, he is now working at the Gloria Kaufman School of Dance at the University of Southern California. The school proudly expresses that his work is acknowledged for reorienting the practice of ballet from its identification with classical repertoire to a dynamic 21st century art form. Forsythe's deep interest in the fundamental principles of organization has led him to produce a wide range of projects including installations, films, and web-based knowledge creation.
Now we have a way of basically holding time a little bit more still. You know? We can actually slow it up or speed it down any rate we like and say, watch, yeah, see what we know. And we also have the opportunity to say, what else does this knowledge look like? Okay, so we are working with a team of people who can look at our structures, transform it into another language, yeah, into a data point set, and say, okay, with this aspect of the structure, I can create something else that speaks actually choreographically.
Impressing the Tsar is another award-winning postmodern ballet piece choreographed by William Forsythe. Impressing the Tsar contains 5 divisions, designated as Potemkin's signature, in the middle, somewhat elevated, La Maison de Meso Presso, Bongo Bongo Nagila, and Mr. Nut Goes to the Big Top. Impressing the Tsar is not quite comparable to Artifact because there is no ongoing theme or narrative story taking place. The first scene of Impressing the Tsar is relevant to ballet's long-lasting history and also reflects its culture. The movement is uplifting and elegant as the dancers project a lighthearted tone to the piece. The second scene, the most well-known, is one of the most beautiful and industrious pieces I've seen. These sharp but effortless leg lifts and tilts create such explicit movement between the couple. The perpetual fluid motions are, overall, revolutionizing to the audience's eye about the possibilities of the art of ballet. Described by The Guardian, they say, they pushed their elegant toes into the floor and looked upwards at the two golden cherries that hung there, the somewhat elevated objects that are mentioned in the title. Then, with a slight shrug, one stalked off, leaving the stage to the other, who began to dance in a jolting crash of electric sound. Overall, this thrilling piece provoked a high-voltage shock to the world of ballet that would spread far from the stage. This illuminating, legendary piece with such initiating and thought-provoking movement has impacted our society for the better. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot about the prodigy, William Forsythe.
I'm thrilled
And
too.
what an
Yeah, come on.
inspiration you are to all of us.
Thanks.
And thank you.
Thanks, baby. Thanks.